To all our friends in the industry, this has been an exceptionally difficult 6 weeks for all of us. We've had to make hard and difficult decisions for our businesses that have impacted significantly on individuals and our companies. This has been across the board, from suppliers to our own staff and guides at New Frontiers to our agents. There is no one who hasn't been impacted. It's at times like this that I would have liked to have connected with every one of you individually, but as with so many of you, our resources have been stretched as we work through all the effective bookings and files for March, April and May and adapt to a new normal. And since the new normal is video, I thought I would take a beautiful day in Durban to say what I would say to each of you personally, and that is that we're acutely aware of each of your challenges and we're working tirelessly to find solutions for you. It has in almost all instances not been easy. Our suppliers are faced with very real on-the-ground difficulties, working as they do in many cases with some of the most financially vulnerable people in our society, and already increasing incidents of poaching, while our agents have the unenviable task of trying to get travelers to rebook while working within very rigid travel and consumer laws in their own countries. I've said a number of times that in the current situation there are no winners, and our job as a DMC must be to try and find equitable solutions that minimize the effects as much as possible on all parties. And I would really like to thank every one of you, our suppliers, our agents and my staff, for sharing this approach and working as professionally and rationally as we can to find those solutions. We've already made good progress on all current files to the end of May, and again I would like to thank all of you for working with us on the room night barter system to resolve issues of cancellation fees. We have recently started moving our June and July bookings to a provisional status with our suppliers to give clients as much flexibility as possible in the current situation without incurring any further liabilities. And I would like to thank the suppliers in this case for their support on this. We're all agreed as an industry and as the chain that our main common goal is to preserve as many bookings as possible through flexible terms and postponements. There are still many challenges and many questions to which we do not yet have answers, but there is robust debate in Southern Africa through various forums and through SATSA, our governing body, about ways forward and resolutions. Primary of these is the question of deposits, both on postponed files and in some instances where suppliers are requesting deposits on new bookings. Aside from the discussion on the role of deposits in our supply chain, there is also the question of how secure these will be in the upcoming weeks, and we will be engaging with suppliers on what financial protection they can give the trade on monies that they are holding. And then of course there are questions about when Southern Africa will be open again for travel. While our own lockdown eases next week, international travel is the last step in a series of progressions that the government has proposed. And we still have a visa regimen in place that was imposed with the travel ban in mid-March that will need to be lifted. The industry, thanks to the foresight of SATSA, has already started engaging on what this post-ban travel scenario might look like in terms of hygiene and social distancing, how many people on the game drive for instance. And as these findings are concluded, we'll share them with you. As Winston Churchill said, this is not the end, it's not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. And so on that note, there are a few familiar faces that also want to share with you what the New Frontiers team has been up to and what our plans are for the next few weeks as we inch towards, hopefully, the beginning of the end.